The Sikh faith, established by Guru Nanak Dev Ji and comprising 10 spiritual leaders, holds Guru Nanak as the foremost among them. Born in 1496, Guru Nanak displayed a profound interest in exploring various religions, engaging with Hindu and Muslim teachers. One day, during a bath in the river, he claimed to have heard the voice of God, convinced that he was chosen for a divine mission. He dedicated himself to spreading the teachings of Sikhism, traveling extensively across Asia for 30 years, covering approximately 20,000 miles. During his travels, Guru Nanak emphasized the direct connection between individuals and God, advocating against the need for priests or elaborate ceremonies. He championed the equality of all individuals and vehemently opposed social hierarchies. Before his passing in 1593, Guru Nanak appointed Guru Angad Dev Ji as his successor, ensuring the continuation of Sikhism. Sikhism emphasizes equality, humility, and devotion to God. Mahavira, the philosopher of Jainism, is believed to have been born around 509 BCE, though some argue that he lived during the same era as Buddha. Hailing from a family of warriors, Mahavira renounced his worldly life at the age of 30 to embrace strict self-discipline, practicing extreme asceticism. During this period, he owned nothing, not even basic clothing or a bowl for alms, and endured 12 years of intense austerity. After achieving Kevala Jnana, the ultimate level of spiritual understanding, Mahavira became a proponent of vegetarianism and adhered to a vow of nonviolence. He reinvigorated Jain teachings and established guidelines for the community of monks, advocating for principles such as non-harm, truthfulness, non-stealing, sexual purity, and renunciation of worldly possessions. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, introduced a belief system centered on the unity of God, humanity, and all religions. Originally known as Mirza Hussain, he belonged to the Shiite sect of Islam, before aligning with Mirza Ali Muhammad, also known as the Bab, who led the Babi community, a group claiming special insights into ultimate truth. The Bab's execution incited widespread protests among his followers, resulting in violent confrontations and the deaths of thousands. Baha'u'llah was among those captured during these events and imprisoned in Tehran. It was during his imprisonment that he declared himself to be the awaited messenger of God foretold by the Bab. This proclamation led to further unrest, prompting the Ottoman government to exile Baha'u'llah to Acre. It was in Acre that he adopted the name Baha'u'llah and expanded the local Baha'i belief into a comprehensive set of teachings. His teachings emphasized the unity of religions and urged people to see each other as brothers, transcending differences of race, social class, and religious affiliation. Baha'u'llah's work focused on promoting harmonious societal behavior while de-emphasizing formal religious ceremonies. The origin of Shinto cannot be attributed to a single individual, and there are no sacred texts that are strictly adhered to, nor are there any immutable teachings. However, its fundamental principles have persisted over time. The early religious practices in Japan during the Paleolithic and Neolithic periods are not definitively linked to Shinto, although they predated it. The term Shinto was coined in the 6th century to differentiate local spiritual practices from Buddhism and Confucianism, which were imported from China. Buddhism gained popularity over Shinto, leading people to perceive Shinto gods as manifestations of Buddha. Buddhist monks began to oversee Shinto shrines, introducing their decorations, sculptures, and rituals. In the late 700s to early 800s, a prominent Japanese scholar named Kobo Daishi developed a syncretic belief system known as Ryobu Shinto, which combined elements of Buddhism and Shinto. Over time, Buddhism exerted greater influence than Shinto, incorporating aspects of Confucian teachings. Traditional Shinto practices nearly disappeared, surviving primarily in significant temples and within the imperial court. despite the conversion of the emperors to Buddhism and Confucianism. The essence of Taoism revolves around finding inner peace and harmony, promoting kindness and coexistence. Its primary text, the Tao Te Ching, dating back to around 300 BC, is replete with poetic verses and aphorisms. While traditionally attributed to the philosopher Laozi, the existence of Laozi himself is a subject of considerable debate. According to legend, Laozi hailed from a small village in what is now the eastern region of Henan Province in China. He held a distinguished position as a scholar official, known as a she, in the royal courts of the Zhou dynasty. These scholars specialized in divination, sacred texts, and astrology, contributing to Laozi's mystique. Numerous legends surround Laozi, including tales of his miraculous birth after spending 72 years in his mother's womb. Additionally, it is said that Laozi once encountered the renowned thinker Confucius during his youth. Throughout China, Laozi is revered in various ways, viewed by some as a wise philosopher, by others as a saint, and even as a deity, particularly among Taoist adherents. Zoroastrianism, founded by Zoroaster, the Iranian prophet, has its origins shrouded in uncertainty regarding his exact lifespan. Some speculate that he lived around 6000 BC, while others place him in the middle of the 7th century BC. Zoroaster was born in the western region of Iran, near the area of Arianim Veja, into a lineage directly descended from the royal family of the Menyu-Shikar house, the ancient rulers of Iran. At the age of 16, Zoroaster became disenchanted with worldly pursuits, finding them devoid of meaning and pleasure. Rejecting all material desires, he sought a deeper connection with Ahura Mazda, the supreme ruler of the universe. It was atop Mount Hara during a profound communion that Zoroaster experienced visions of the future. Through these visions, Zoroaster came to understand that Ahura Mazda presided over a realm governed by justice, offering eternal life and bliss. Claiming direct communication with Ahura Mazda, Zoroaster received 7 revelations, culminating in his declaration as God's prophet at the age of 30. Endowed with the divine light of revelation, he became a renowned messenger for Ahura Mazda, spreading the wisdom imparted to him. In Christianity, Jesus Christ, revered as the Son of God, is revered as the founder of the faith. Born to the Virgin Mary in Bethlehem between the years 4 and 6 BC, Jesus spent his formative years in Nazareth until the age of 30, when he embarked on a journey to impart his teachings. Accompanied by 12 disciples, including Matthew and John, who later contributed to the Bible, Jesus attracted thousands of followers who were captivated by his miraculous deeds, including healing the sick and feeding multitudes with a single meal. Despite his popularity, Jesus faced opposition from the Roman authorities and betrayal by some Jewish leaders, leading to his crucifixion and death. However, 3 days later, Jesus mysteriously vanished from his tomb, appearing before his disciples and followers. Ascending to heaven from the Mount of Olives, Jesus left a profound legacy that continues to shape the Christian faith. Islam's origins are attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, born around 570 AD in Mecca, to the influential Quraysh tribe. Amidst Mecca's polytheistic environment, Muhammad was raised with monotheistic beliefs, worshiping Allah as the one true God. Initially employed in trade, Muhammad's life changed when, at the age of 40, he began receiving revelations and visions, notably in the cave on Mount Hira, where the Archangel Gabriel delivered messages that would form the basis of the Quran. Gathering followers who believed in his teachings, Muhammad faced opposition from Mecca's elite, who perceived his monotheism as a threat to their established order. Despite initial protection from his uncle, Abu Talib, Muhammad and his followers eventually migrated to Medina, where he continued receiving revelations and gained more supporters. Returning to Mecca later, Muhammad's influence had grown, and he successfully converted many Meccans to Islam. He passed away in Medina, leaving behind a legacy that would shape the course of history. Abraham holds a significant place in Jewish tradition as the patriarch and the foundational figure of Judaism. According to Jewish belief, their lineage can be traced back to Abraham, particularly through his son Isaac and his grandson Jacob. Abraham's story unfolds in the ancient city of Ur in Babylonia during the Bronze Age, where he lived alongside his father, Terah, who was a merchant involved in idol trade. Despite this environment, Abraham believed in the existence of a single God. One day, Abraham received a divine call from God to journey to Canaan, the promised land for his future generations. Along with his spouse and nephew, Abraham embarked on this journey, demonstrating his faith and obedience to God's command. Despite the challenges and uncertainties, Abraham accepted God's plan wholeheartedly. In a miraculous turn of events, despite his advanced age and his wife Sarah's barrenness, Abraham was blessed with a son, Isaac, who would continue his lineage. Abraham's commitment to God's will and his unwavering faith are central themes in his narrative. He is revered as a model of faith and obedience in Judaism. Hinduism originated between 2300 to 1500 BC, stemming from a diverse blend of beliefs that emerged when people from the Indo-Aryan group migrated to what is now Pakistan, near the Indus Valley. Their traditions intermingled with those of the indigenous population, giving rise to the religion we now know as Hinduism. In Hindu mythology, Manu is depicted as the first human created by the god Brahma. Using his divine powers, Brahma crafted the goddess Shatarupa, and from their union, Manu was born. After a period of intense self-discipline, Manu received his wife and companion, who is also described as his aunt. According to Hindu belief, all subsequent humans are descendants of Manu and his companion. Furthermore, Manu is credited with authorship of the ancient Sanskrit legal text known as the Manu Smriti. This text contains a condensed compilation of the wisdom and guidance imparted by Manu to various sages. Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha, is credited with founding Buddhism. Born into the royalty of an ancient kingdom situated on the border of India and Nepal around the 6th century BC, Siddhartha's life took a transformative turn at the age of 29, when he encountered what are known as the Four Sights. Observing an elderly person, an ill individual, a deceased corpse, and a wandering ascetic, Siddhartha realized the universal realities of aging, illness, and death, prompting him to seek a deeper understanding of existence. Despite belonging to a wealthy and privileged family, he felt disillusioned with a life solely focused on material possessions and worldly pleasures. One night, after returning to his opulent home, Siddhartha made the momentous decision to renounce his princely life in pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Departing from the comforts of his royal residence, he embarked on a journey of self-discovery, studying under various spiritual teachers and embracing a disciplined ascetic lifestyle. From 551 to 479 BC in Lu, now part of Shandong province in China, emerged the influential figure of Confucius, who laid the foundations of Confucianism, a philosophy that emphasized self-discipline, respect for tradition, social harmony, and compassion towards all beings. Despite his humble beginnings and the challenges he faced after his father's early demise, Confucius pursued education fervently, delving into various subjects such as music, mathematics, classical texts, and history. He believed that education, coupled with conscientious reflection on one's actions, was fundamental to cultivating moral character and effective leadership. Confucius, deeply influenced by the cultural and moral standards of the Zhou dynasty, advocated for ethical governance and societal reform. Despite facing opposition and even being labeled a minister of crime for his bold critiques of the government's shortcomings, Confucius persisted in his mission to instill moral values and bring about positive change. His teachings, compiled by his followers into texts like the Lunyu, continue to shape notions of ethical conduct and leadership, resonating with many to this day.